How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massive Beer Reviews, back with mystery beers. Mystery bottled beers. Some of my favorite mystery beers come in bottles. It's because I like bottles. You know, you get the cans, typically assume they're going to be a hazy when you're talking about a bottle. You have no idea what's going to be in here. Yeah. So, mystery beers. What are they? They're beers that actually people send me. They wrap them up like this. I open them, I talk about them, I drink them, I guess the style of beer, the bits and pieces that go into it. Sometimes it's the beer themselves. And that'd be that. It's one of the more funner ways to actually dive into a beer because you have no idea what's going on. This is one of the more kind of typical wrappings when it comes to mystery beers. The old painter's tape, blue painter's tape with a sweet paper towel. So I'm a fan. This beer comes courtesy of Alex. Oh shit. Okay. He sent me off a 3-banger of mystery beers. And yeah. This one kind of looks like a stout, kind of, sort of, a little bit like one. Yeah, that's just crazy huge density. Super rich, kind of darker than what I like my coffee to look like, kind of head to it. There's a bit of rockiness to it, though. It's not super creamy, not super fluffy. And like I said, she was motor oil coming out of there, so she definitely looks the part of a big old stout. Let's see what the nose has. Nice chocolate component. Nice, like, sweet malted component. It's almost like a chocolate syrup, burnt brown sugar, molasses kind of thing going on. There's something else to it. There's almost like a soft, milky component to it, too. Almost like a curdled milk. So I'm thinking this might be a milk stout. I'm still up in the air whether it's touched the barrel or whatnot. There are kind of cherry undertones. There's a sweet kind of bourbony vibe to it. But it's not too hot. It's not too big. So it definitely could be barrel aged. The head dissipating like it does kind of like lets me think two things. Either it might have adjuncts and it might be barrel aged, but yeah, where I sit now, you know what? Changing my mind. Base off nose. We'll change that in the taste. It smells like a soft bourbon barrel aged imperial milk stout, maybe. Could be getting a little bit of that kind of milky vibe. Might be a vanilla thing from wood or something like that. So there's a lot up in the air in this one. Let's just dive into the taste, see what's what. Cheers. Okay. See, I'm really not just bursting at the seams with this, like, huge bourbon character, but I'm pretty sure she's barrel aged. And it's a barrel-aged imperial stout. I'm still on the fence of that, like, milk stout portion of the show. There is a soft creaminess to it, but it could be a kind of vanilla coconut thing coming from the barrel. I'm kind of leaning in that direction. There is a nice spiciness to it. So there's a little bit of kind of burnt caramel maltiness, a little bitter astringency when it malts. I don't think it's actually from a hop thing, and it might be a little bit of tarriness from the wood itself. But I don't think she's a gigantic beer. I think she's lower in ABV. Man, I'm really torn on whether this is barrel aged. I'll be perfectly honest with you. Yeah, it's a nice beer. It's well made. It's tasty. It's nice. Doesn't have any of the negatives I typically associate with what I assume is a semi-low ABV, like upper 9s. Kind of imperial stout, none of that metallic astringency, a nice bittering to balance off that sweetness. It's nice trying to say, it's got to be barrel aged. It's got to be barrel aged. So yeah, it's tasty. I dig it. I just don't know what beer it is, because I assume I've had this beer before. But yeah, let's just cut to the chase. High 9%, imperial stout. May or may not be milk stout. I doubt it at this point. I think all that's coming from a bourbon barrel. There's not huge booze component to it, but you get this nice kind of soft cherry vibes. You get a little bit of soft dryness. I assume that's coming from the wood. And I do that, kind of get that soft, creamy, vanilla, milky kind of vibe. I believe that's a vanilla component coming from the wood, or it could be just an added vanilla bean thing, which I've totally ignored and haven't mentioned at this point. But yeah, actually, let's go there. Vanilla bean, milk stout. No, vanilla bean stout, no milk stout. Bourbon barrel aged. Done and done. Watch it. It's gonna be a Kolsch. Let's see what this sucker has to offer. It's a tasty beer. I like it. I dig it. It's not like blowing me away. Like if you were kind of hold it up there to even some of the kind of shelfy imperial stouts, like your KBS of the world, your kind of Bourbon County stouts of the world. It's probably a level below impact wise than something like that. Actually, you know what? The cap is covered. Let me cover. I want to uncover the cap first to see if it's something that I had before. Saranac Brewing. So it's a Matt Brewing product. Curious to see what the sucker is then. This is brute force. This 10.5% alcohol by volume. So I'm very close. It's an upper nines. Upper nines on their Inner Circle series. It's their breakfast stout. Stout with natural flavors added. So there is no bourbon barrel aging in this. To actually say anything about what goes into this. 10.5%, 50 IBUs, Inner Circle series. Stout with natural flavors added. Breakfast stout. Really not much else going on in this. Is there a date on this bottle that I can decipher to figure out when it came out? Nothing I could see. So yeah, totally what's on that one. I kind of leaned heavily on that kind of, that milk portion of the show and that little bit of booziness to be like, I don't think it's all that barrel aged, but let's just go in the barrel aged direction. It does have, ooh, is that a date down there? No, it is not. But it's a tasty beer. I dig it. You know what I mean? I like it. I'm kind of surprised at myself. Actually, there's a date code up there, but I don't know. It's like it's 173rd day of 2018, so halfway through the year. So it's probably only, I don't know if it's the best, it's probably a born on date, so it's not that old. Anyway, so yeah, probably one of the more craptastic mystery beers I've done in quite some time as far as getting shit right. But then again, it's what I tasted, so I'm totally okay with what I had to say. You know, it's a nice beer, though. I'll give you that much. I'm kind of confused as to why I would call this bourbon barrel aged. And they're talking about a breakfast stout, but they don't talk about anything else in it. Like there's any vanilla or any kind of like coffee or anything like that. It just comes off with some of that sweet vanilla and a little bit of added sweetness and a little bit of rich, you know, cherry vibes, which you can get from an imperial stout, especially of the Russian imperial kind, not necessarily breakfast stout, but it's not unheard of. But yeah, I thought it's tasty. Actually, it's probably one of the better, if this is just a straight up base stout with nothing else going on, it's probably one of the better base stouts from what I would consider one of the kind of middle of the road breweries. Not necessarily as far as quality, I mean as far as size. You know, Matt Brewing's pretty big brewery. They do the whole Saranac line. They brew pretty much everything Brooklyn has produced up until recent months. I don't think Brooklyn's brewery has gone online yet, but they're a big brewery, relatively big brewery, you know. So this is probably one of the better barrel aged stouts that I've had from a bigger brewery. Pretty tasty stuff. So yeah, let's talk about it. It's one of the better base stouts I've had in a while. You know, worthy of being on the conversation at minimum. Value and availability, it's Matt Brewing. I mean, chances are you're going to be able to see their Saranac, you can see the stuff on your shelves. Probably gets decent distribution. I've never seen it in Pennsylvania before, so it might not leave the immediate area. I know Alex is from up in the Utica area, so he gets this stuff more often and leave you with, if you like, what will you like this? If you like breakfast stout, if you like, you know, just Founder's breakfast stout, but you want something that's a little bit more balanced, a little bit more rounded. I believe breakfast stout from Founders is quite a tasty beer, but I like a little bit of age on this. This one, being as fresh as it is, comes off a little bit more drinkable from the get. So that in of itself is fun. It was a fun beer. It was a fun mystery beer. It's cool to. It's been a while since I've kind of shit the bed on one, yeah, need that to kind of humble yourself every now and then. Not me. You know me. I'm not going to be fucking humble. Anyway, so there you go. Awesome beer, Alex. Thank you very much, brother. Super appreciate the mystery beers. The only way I can do them is people that send them to me. So for you and everybody out there who send them over the past, year or so. By the time I post this, it'll be 2019, but I appreciate it very much so. So thank you very much. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the mystery beer review. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive if you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a nice big Imperial Stout right now. And hope to see you next time. Cheers.